Hello and welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. Thanks for joining me. Welcome to subscribers, returning viewers, and new viewers. I really appreciate everybody's time. So anyways, we've got a couple little kits here we're going to review. And and there's a bit of a rant too going to happen. So I'm going to set this aside for a moment. And anyways, viewers will know I've been accumulating quite a few 124 and 125 scale cars and trucks, and I saw this on. It was about, I don't know. It was $29 and change, $31.50 I think, including by the time you include the tax. And so, anyways, I'll just go through it quickly here. Obviously, it's the Rally Mechanic set from Tamiya. It's a 124 scale, and it's their catalog number 24266. And it's very nice. You get lots of little accessories. I also have the Joe's Power Plus service station that's going to be kind of a centerpiece of my cars and car collection. So I figured I needed some mechanics and some people. So anyways, and there's also decals for two different schemes, including decals for the uniforms. So anyways, I've talked about this before. It drives me nuts, but, well, it doesn't drive me as nuts as it would other people. But, in this case, the box art is, nothing, just, whatever. So, but, yeah, I've ranted about that before. So, anyways, well, this won't take very long. So, the figures are all molded in white. And we get 2 sprues. It's pretty straightforward. These are the figures. I'm sure not seeing any flash. The contact points, they look okay. Like, for example, here, there is a seam here, which you're going to have to scrape down anyways. So this isn't a problem, the way they've done this. And the detail's really nice. I mean, they're coveralls, right? But there's nice texture to them. And then here's the other guys. Same situation here. As always, we get the tech tips, the small paint box liners is what I use them for. But they're very helpful if you're a new modeler. Okay, and then next we get a series of tools. These are all obviously in gray. I'm not going to take them out. We'll see them in the instructions. So lots of little pieces there and doodads. And so, I mean, the figures alone, for $31.50, the figures alone, that's a very good price. And all these little extras and stuff, you would need to populate a service station, or maybe not populate, but fill up. Well, you know what I mean. Well, I guess if you can populate a field, you can populate a service station. Anyway. And here's the decal sheet, and they have decals for 2 teams. One is Peugeot, and the other is Subaru. Peugeot and Subaru. So I guess I'm going to have to get me a Subaru. Okay. So, yeah, and, you know, the usual Tamiya quality. Probably, you know, especially for the uniform stuff, you're going to want to use a decal softener for these so that they conform to the contours, as it were. So slip that in. So anyways, yeah, I mean, you know, most of these guys are going to go in Joe's Service Plus. And, you know, we'll make use of them. But yeah, lots of little extra accessories there, looking good. So, okay, and as always, we get the okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I can't find the year that this was actually tooled, although this set is from the 2003 decaling, and I think there were also new parts in 2013. But these are going to be fine. I don't at this point. I don't plan to use the decals anyways. So, or most of them. Okay, so yeah, and then here we get some more instructional things you're going to need. They give you the paints, you know, the usual Tamiya format. I guess I can't blame them for doing the instructions this way. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, so we've got a heavy duty jack here, and we've got a tool case. There's a tray and parts box. There's a ramp, whatever you call those things. You get wrenches. You get a impact wrench. All sorts of things here. So there's some brake discs, some shocks or dampers, as I'm now told they're called in the UK. And then we have the various different mechanics. There's a driver, and they just, you know, mechanic A, mechanic B, mechanic C. So, but you know, they're both able to hold. They're all able to hold tools or be posed in a certain way, which is very nice. And then we get the decaling schemes here. So there's Team Subaru and Team Peugeot for 2001, 2002. And this is a nice diorama of what it all includes. So you know, for $31.50, I'm very pleased. I think that's a good value. So as far as rating the kit goes, I mean, not going to give a full rating. I give it a full half point for value. There's nothing wrong with the plastic, the decaling, the figures. Everything looks great. I suppose if you wanted to, you could ding them um, for the instructions format, but yeah, I'm not gonna. So, you know, that's going to be pretty close to 11 and a half out of 12. So yeah, that includes the half point for value. And you know, I might even be so inclined to boost that to 3/4 of a point. I allow up to 1 point for bonus there, but that's where I'll the instructions. Yeah, we'll just leave it at half a point. Okay, so now here's something a little different, and I got this on a whim. Tamiya does quite a few of these, and you know, obviously, you know, when I was a kid, you know, dinosaurs were all the rage. They still are with the kids a lot, I think. What's not to like the dinosaurs? Dinosaurs lived long ago when the world was new. They were very big and strong, very scary too. I think I learned that in grade 1. Sorry if I hurt your ears there. Okay, so you know, rather than getting the big T-Rex, these are not complex kits. I mean, but rather than getting the big T-Rex or the Triceratops, both are still available in 1/35 scale. So you know, they're a very good size. But you know, always looking to value. I decided to go with this, with the full intention of doing a little diorama. Maybe not with all of them, but you know, with some of them. And this I am certainly going to do, because, as I teased in my apology video, I got this off Amazon. It was $31.48. No, 32. It was about $32, about the same as the other kit, about $32. And I figured, yeah, okay, that's you know, kind of on the high end of what I'd want to pay for something like this, but no, not bad. Okay, fine. So it was from a company in the States. I'm not gonna name them. Because I generally don't do that unless it's something very egregious. So it was a company in the States, and there was no tax, and they said there might be a duty deposit required at checkout, which there wasn't. Okay. So anyway, so it got shipped, and it by mail. As you can see, Canada Post. Okay, but yeah, here's the other weird thing. It was shipped from the USA, but it come from Canada Post. You know, there's the Canada Post tracking number, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so I go to pick it up at the post office, and they tell me it's COD, $14.05. Shipping was also free. It was at $0. So, you know, I've seen before where they don't charge the tax at the vendor end, and usually if it's below a certain value, you can get away with that. But in this case, you know, we got a $32 kit here, and they charged me $14.05. Now, and this was charged by Canada Post. And so the only thing I can conclude is that this is a tariff. I mean, a 40% tariff. Or whatever it is. Math's never been my thing. But as subscribers and viewers will know, and my wife, the accountant. So, yeah. So anyways, I suppose, and, like I said, I got away with it a couple times before. I figured Justin Trudeau didn't need the extra $2.78 or whatever it was. So I'm not going to worry about that. Oh, I'm such a criminal. Okay, so, yeah. And anyway, so I'm not going to rant about it too much, but, that's just a bit too much. I mean, come on, give me a break. I'm not going to go any farther than that. I made a promise, and I'm going to stick to that promise. Okay, but I did hear a funny joke. When I was looking at this, I watched a video from a creator, and I hadn't seen this fella before. And anyways, I can't find his channel again. But anyways, he cracked the best joke when he was showing the crocodile, crocodilia. It said it was part of the family Reptilia, and he said, I always thought of this one's for you, see me. I always thought it was the clan O'Doyle. You get it? Croc O'Doyle. Yeah, he said, yeah, I always thought they were Irish. They were O'Doyles. Anyways, I cracked back to him. I said, oh, that's interesting, because I always thought they were Scottish Clan Dundee. Anyways. There you go. Geez, singing and bad jokes. What is this? The Adirondacks in the 1950s? Anyways. Okay, so here we go. Okay, here we go. And again, as we see, this is not a big kit, and not certainly not as extensive as the Rally Mechanics set. But anyways, I got it because I wanted it, and that's, you pay for that. Okay, so, generally speaking, I'll move this out of the way so we can see it properly. Generally speaking, it's pretty basic. They got the body, the legs, and in the case of the crocodile here, it's it's got the lower part of the jaw here, or whatever, so that's all you need to do with that. And then some of them, they have their little feet, and they each have a little base, which I probably won't use, but might come in handy for something. Nicely textured, not just a plain plastic base. So, yeah. So, I mean, I can't be too upset about it. I mean, I knew that, $32 was going to be a little, like I said, at the high end of what I wanted to, pay for it. But, I sure wouldn't have bought it if I knew it was going to cost me $45. Shoot. Anyways. Come on now. So, to my point, I definitely will be doing a diorama with these. You might as well make the most of it. No decals, of course, with this. And they do a little introduction here. Dinosaurs roamed the earth for about 160 million years during the Mesozoic era, until they died out suddenly 65 million years ago. Although many of us have been led to believe that dinosaurs were monstrous creatures, massive in size like the elephants and whales seen today, or bigger, there were also many that were no larger than cats and dogs. The remains of these smaller dinosaurs are rarely found in complete form because their fragile bones usually disappeared before they could be fossilized. Disappeared down the throat of predators, I'm sure. Some of them. Paleontologists today suggest that these small creatures greatly outnumbered the larger dinosaurs and lived quite actively. In contrast to the imposing mass and size of the giant dinosaurs, their offspring are also assumed to have been quite compact in size during their infant years and moved about in close proximity to the adults. And so we got the infant Tyrannosaurus, and how that goes together. And then we've got the, I can't read that upside down. Parasaurolophus. Parasaurolophus, yeah. Remember that really bad sequel, Star Wars sequel? They had the duck people. I think that's where they got that from. Ridiculous duck people. Anyways. And then Hypsilophodon, which looks like a little allosaur. And then there's a Oviraptor, of course, crocodile. And the Archaeopteryx. And they all go together pretty simply. So that's it. And it is 1/35 scale. Well, what I should have said as well, it's Tamiya catalog number 60107, diorama series number 7. Okay, so that's that. So obviously this gets nothing for value. You know, it's you know, if there hadn't been any extra fee, I just would have been okay with the amount that I paid. So yeah, so okay, so yeah, so I mean, as far as rating the kit goes, it's a very simple, straightforward kit. I'm not going to go through the criteria step by step by step. You know, the instructions are good. The plastic looks good. The detail on the animals looks good. Although, you know, it's an old kit. I'm not sure. I think it probably goes back to the 70s. But in any case, and apparently, you know, they're not entirely anatomically correct with new knowledge since whenever they were initially produced. Sorry about that. Shows that this was tooled in 1996, so a good amount of time and more knowledge has been accumulated about them. And so yeah, I don't know, gonna give it a 10, 10 and a half. Yeah, something like that. So, but for what it is, it's okay, and you know, you could probably get a couple dioramas out of it, depending on what you wanted to do. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate everyone's time, and I appreciate everyone's comments and guidance. And as I've always said, you know, if I say something wrong or do something wrong, feel free to comment. I'm not afraid to admit if I'm wrong. Okay, so that's it for today, and I don't think there'll be anything else for a little while. So hope everyone enjoys a happy Easter and enjoys a beautiful spring wherever you are, or if you're down under, a beautiful fall, autumn, I guess it would be coming into there. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.